Hey everyone, it's John Taylor. I'm on my news desk and prop trading desk today. What a great day. We had a wonderful Christmas holiday. We want to wish everyone a happy holidays. And so today is Monday, December 29th, 2025. Got a lot of exciting news. I go over geopolitics and socioeconomics and then produce a trading plan for myself, for my speculations, not financial advice. Do me a favor, subscribe to my channel. I'm getting a lot of new subscribers and my channel is starting to get a lot of traction. So I go over geopolitics and then look at socioeconomics and let's see what's happening here. So bar chart, all right, is reporting stock set to open lower. The stock market's open about 20 minutes. People are trimming off risk at year end and Fed minutes await. So stocks open slightly lower on Wall Street as 2025 winds down. Iranian traders and shopkeepers protest as currency hits record low. So a lot of upheaval in Iran. South Korea's climate pledge to cut coal, lower emissions clash with the U.S. push for LNG purchases. What to expect from Roper Technologies. Earnings preview from Marcia McLennan. Silver. There are many silver news stories today. Blackstone, Q4 2025 earnings. Micron Technologies, news there. PPG, quarterly earnings, what we need to know. So let's look at the major market overview. Stock market, E-minis, S&P is off 25 points. The NASDAQ E-mini off 116 points. Dow futures off about 200 points. The VIX up slightly at 16.90. The Dixie at 97.62. Doing a lot of research now on Forex. I'm not a financial advisor or currency advisor. I just, informational purposes only. The 10-year, got to watch the yield on it, 112-230. Crude oil, up slightly at 58.14, up $1.50. Nat gas, 3.91. Gold's selling off a bit today. At risk off, because it had gone parabolic. So whenever a market goes straight up like this, it gets heavy and then it drops down and, shakes and then continues to go back up. So we're getting that shake on gold bullion. Silver bullion, off about $4.50, achieved an all-time high here recently, like $82. All right, corn, wheat, soybean, sugar, coffee, and cocoa. So let's look at the stock market leaders. What's active here? Tesla's active, off 2%. NVIDIA, Palantir, Micron Technologies, Advanced Micro Devices, JP Morgan. Now stay with me to the end. I give you free alpha. AVGO, Broadcom, active, Meta, Microsoft, and Oracle. So a lot of news about the AI and artificial intelligence and AI bubble. So that's what's being reported on bar chart. And I've used bar chart since before they even had a website. They had to print out a big charts, like 12 inches by 18-inch charts. Now, I don't use a technical analysis, but I have looked at used their products for years. I like bar chart. They're smart too in the commodities because they're from Chicago. So shout out to bar chart and thanks for all their great effort. So let's look at the news on Yahoo Finance. The tenacious peace between Trump and the $30 trillion U.S. bond market's ability to governments and politicians, second to none. So there's news about the U.S. bond market. Stock slide as NVIDIA and Tesla fall to start 2025's final week. Headwinds are abating. U.S. economy looks set for tax cut boosts. News, Google's awesome. I've been a stockholder of Google for years. They're doing great. Bulls only. Every Wall Street analyst now predicts a stock rally. So that's perhaps, the silver market is telling the story, really. So with this parabolic move in silver, platinum and palladium and gold bullion, This type of price action typically happens before there's a market correction because people are concerned about the economy. Silver sinks after jumping to record high of around $82 as volatility grips the metals. So I have indirectly cornered the silver market in platinum and palladium and gold bullion markets. So in order to provide liquidity, you'll see these, got thousands of these. I've been selling some American Eagles into the marketplace that I've accumulated over the last 15 years in an effort now to provide liquidity to this parabolic move in the price of silver bullion. I sell into the strength and have been doing so, and in order to calm the silver market down, again, these things are awesome. It's tangible wealth. And the thing too is, Warren Fluffett and then Dave Ramsey said not to own this. No one's ever made money with precious metals. That's a quote. So I don't know where that's from, but I've done really well. And then copper, look at these. I own thousands of these that I purchased. Copper coins, 100% pure copper. The Buffaloes, amazing product right here. So copper hits a record in London as supply fears fuel rally. A lot of tariff news, so I'm providing liquidity by starting to sell some copper into the parabolic move to unwind my cornering of the market indirectly because of taking physical delivery of the precious metals complex over the last 15 years. NVIDIA takes a $5 billion stake in Intel. Again, stay with me to the end. Give my videos a like and a share. You want to subscribe to my channel and share the videos too. Let's get the word out. NVIDIA into Intel. Bank of America is referencing 6 computer chip stocks like Lam Research and NVIDIA will be a chip surge in 2026. The year's going to be unreal. China's XI starting down Trump. So there's trouble in China and top AI startups amass record 150 billion cushion as bubble fears. So a lot of news in the artificial intelligence. So GenMed scraps development of experimental therapies. VC predicts strong enterprise AI adoption next year. Lululemon founder Chip Wilson launches proxy fight to overhaul the board. Again, copper hits record high. So a lot of news. Zelensky asked Trump for 50-year Ukraine security guarantee. Oil is pushing higher with Ukraine talks. So this is an amazing story. SoftBank acquiring Digital Bridge for $4 billion in a proxy fight. So this is what we have there. DBRG, Digital Bridge. So we're going to explore that a little bit. But the news story really is in silver and gold prices and Bitcoin. I've been trading some Bitcoin, buying the dip and then selling it for the last 2 weeks have been incredibly volatile with Bitcoin. And so we'll go over that in a minute. But so these are the news stories that are the top gainers. Anything Digital Bridge is active. Okay, top losers. Okay, gold stocks are taking a hit. Nova Gold, the gold stocks have had a huge move. So that's what we have there. So let's look at my trading plan and let's take a look at Bitcoin. So my Bitcoin position is no longer profitable for me. I'm off about 5,000 points in Bitcoin, but I'm slowly trading my way back. It was off about 7,000 points. So I'll continue to DCA, Bitcoin and take a look at it. So this last about 10 days, I've been trading Bitcoin for thousands of points a day and doing awesome with it. So I'm just kind of taking a look, go over my free alpha here. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. Make sure you read the risk disclosure below. And this is my morning routine. I have a cup of coffee. Here you see, have a cup of coffee first thing in the morning, enjoy my day and go over my news stories and then formulate a trading plan for myself. So that's different. So I don't give financial advice. I was a financial advisor years ago. Not anymore, though. I give myself financial advice. And so my quote is, all right, I give thanks for my abundant supply now manifested. I have it now. So the trade history, looking at Bitcoin, just kind of go over my last 5 trades. I've been buying and selling it for thousands of points. I bought some Bitcoin at 87,300, 88,000, 80, and then sold it at 89,200. Bought it back again at 86,700. Sold it at 87,523. Bought back at 88,339. Sold at 89,559, and then recently purchased Bitcoin this morning at 86,702, and then it pumped to 88,117. So I have, let's see, GTC limit orders to purchase Bitcoin at, I'll give you my price fills here. Now I wait, Livermore said it best, Jesse Livermore, whenever I had the patience to wait for the pivot points, I always made money in my operation. So I've been pivot point trading Bitcoin again, like I said, for about the last 10 days, and it's just been, market pulls back to the pivot point, I purchase it, it goes up to the pivot point, I sell it. So I have limit GTC orders open here now at, I'll start at the highest price and work my way down, 86,400, 85,229, and then 83,666. So that's what I have. And then as the market dips at those different pivot points, the dollar amount increases. So as it pulls back to the retracement pivot points, it's like 1, 2, 3. And then when it finally reaches its final pivot point, I purchase the most Bitcoin I can in anticipation of it going back up again. Of course, I do everything with asymmetric risk. So now, kind of go over this. I even penned an ebook too. I might put a link in there. You can see the link down below in my video, running about 12 minutes. But I penned an ebook called Riding the Waves of Bitcoin. So I'll put a link in there. I'll show you how I do my pivot point trading. I'm an old timer too. I mean, I've been in the capital markets since 1987. I worked at Payne Weber as a marketing assistant and intern while I was still at uni. And then after I graduated uni, I was hired at the 5th largest merchant bank on the planet on an institutional stock trading desk. And then, so I learned how to trade the capital markets really well as a quant trader. And so here's what we have. So looking at, and I'll put the link in the description for my book on riding the waves of Bitcoin. So what I do is I look at, on bar chart is amazing. I'll show this to you. Let's take a look at this. Kind of go through this. This is me doing my own research for myself, and I just kind of record my narrative of such. So looking at long-term trends on commodities, not a commodity trading advisor, it's just information. So the commodity that has, I look at weighted alpha. So the long-term future trends on weighted alpha on bar chart, you go to barchart.com/futures/long-term trends. So the greatest weighted alpha is silver. So that's the reason that I've been selling into my cornering of the silver market. I'm selling into the strength right now. And I take those hyperinflated dollars and I have to find something to go into. And so I'm a seller of silver, platinum, palladium, and gold, and lithium, and copper. So copper's been pumping in London, so I'm a seller of those commodities. And then I look at, well, what's the bottom? The greatest negative weighted alpha is orange juice, butter, cash settled, rough rice, the VIX, cocoa, cheese, cash settled, lumber, physical lumber, negative weighted alpha. So I look at what's the greatest negative weighted alpha, and the answer is Bitcoin. So I'm selling, again, I sell these to unwind my cornering of the silver market, and then take those hyperinflated dollars and then look for the commodity that's the most oversold, and that answer is Bitcoin. So, I purchase Bitcoin with those hyperinflated dollars. In a perfect world, I would purchase orange juice because it has the negative weighted alpha is negative 49.60, but orange juice doesn't have, it's not worth a squeeze. It's not that big of a market for me. And then also, it doesn't have the shelf life. Bitcoin and Ethereum have the greatest, the longest shelf life, compared to the precious metals. So, that's how I roll. So, again, I'm a seller of the precious metals complex, and then purchasing Bitcoin. And then I trade a little bit of Bitcoin at the pivot points, to pay for the groceries type of thing. So I've been a quant trader since 1987, like I was saying. And you can check out my ebooks. You can always read them for free. So I've been around a long time in the marketplace. So Bitcoin, that's my trading plan for today. So let's kind of go over this. I give you guys free alpha here. So let's take a look at it. You ready? I like Robinhood. I use Robinhood. They do great work. I own stock in Robinhood for well over 5 years. People will complain about Robinhood and say, oh, they're earning commissions off of people. So the way I counter that is by being a stockholder in Robinhood, right? So if they monetize my account and earn a fortune off of my account, then I own their stock shares, and that's done really well for me. So I'll DCA Bitcoin today. I set my pivot points. I'll dollar cost average SPY ETF. Scalped out a nice profit out of it over the last couple weeks. BKCH, I'll DCA it today. It's the blockchain ETFs. Block, BLOK, I'll purchase it on a DCA, and then also ETHE, Ethereum, I'll DCA it on recurring purchases. So that's my trading plan for today, kind of just getting ready for the new year and having a great time. So check out my links below, and on my book, I'll put that in there. It's Riding the Waves of Bitcoin. Every time the market retraces like this, I scale into my trades on Bitcoin, especially since it's the greatest negative weighted alpha. And then once that shift happens in the market, there could be a great pump next year in the price of Bitcoin, especially with hyperinflation and de-dollarization event. And so I'll be researching the news on the precious metals market, trying to calm the market down now in the corner that I have in copper. So I'll be providing some liquidity into the short squeeze in the copper market. And then that's basically it. And then looking to take those again I know it's repetitive too, but this is just myself doing my research on my desk for my trades and speculation. So I'll be buying some more Bitcoin on the dippy dip, more Ethereum, some Solana, and then setting my pivot points, DCAing on another account Bitcoin every day, DCAing the blockchain ETFs. I have a synthetic Bitcoin mining rig that I invented that runs, the mining process for me, where I combine the DCA of Bitcoin plus the purchase of the blockchain ETFs. So I outsource the mining to the different stock shares like HUD-8 and Bitcoin Miner, etc. So, man, Bitcoin's trading while it's right now at 87,767. My last purchase of Bitcoin on the dippy dip was at 86,720. So that trade is profitable. I let the market come to me. I don't wait for confirmation. Most people, they'll take the charting and they'll look, okay, the market dips, forms a cup and a handle, and then it breaks out and then goes higher. Then they chase it, and they chase that breakout. I don't do so. I wait for the market to come to me at the pivot points. So I might even teach a course someday on pivot point trading. So Livermore's brilliant, except I don't trade on the margin, and I do the opposite of Livermore. I always purchase the market on pivot point, S1, S2, S3, and then on the breakouts, I sell into the strength. So I buy the dip, and then I sell into the strength as everyone else is chasing the market. So again, I'm providing liquidity to the copper market right now. I've been providing liquidity to the silver bullion market, selling these into the strength, and just crushing it also on eBay. I sell products on eBay. The precious metals market is amazing, selling my products. So that's really what I have. I'm running about 20 minutes. It's a great day, and I give thanks for my abundant supply now manifested. Everyone have a happy holiday and a happy new year. It's John Taylor on his news desk and prop trading desk. And let's see if we get another pump again in the precious metals market, with silver bullion having the greatest weighted alpha now, even though it's sold off about 10 points or $10 from its high price of 82. So that's what I have. Have a great day, and everyone, let's have a great happy new year. Thanks, everyone.